Hello, my name is Nicholas of Group 25 Monday, and today we will be presenting a report on the topic of the impact of streaming services on one's productivity. Along with me are my groupmates Nadira, Hamizan, and Azri. I, Nicholas 21B2047, will be doing the introduction and talk about the literature review.
Hello, my name is Nadira, 21B8035. I will talk about the methodologies and also the data collection.
Hi, my name is Hamizan, 21B0173, and I'll be presenting on the discussion.
Hello, I'm Azri, 21B8008, and I'll be talking about conclusions as well as the recommendations.
Firstly, I would like to introduce some statistics of recent times. Streaming service providers are becoming internationally more widespread. Streaming services such as YouTube, Spotify, and Netflix have gathered millions of people to their platform. Following this, in Brunei, broadband usage in 2021 has increased threefold. UNN upgrades to the broadband network has also seen improvements on subscription speeds from 24% to 85%. With these points in mind, we can conclude that accessibility of streaming services in Brunei is at an all-time high. Now, onward to the literature review. Existing literature shows that binge watching is a common practice among viewers. 61% of Netflix users participate in binge watching, and 73% of these people have a positive impression of binge watching. However, a study of adults shows that binge watching is associated with poor sleep quality, increased insomnia, and fatigue. This may cause sleep deprivation, which leads to poor attention and working memory. A study on students also suggests that both REM and NREM sleep are required for learning and memory, which can only be achieved when deep sleep occurs. The same study also shows that daytime sleepiness from poor sleep reduces cognitive ability and behavioral performance. Users of streaming services may also potentially develop addictions, which may lead to depression and anxiety. Furthermore, exploitative practices of businesses may lead consumers into developing an attachment and compulsion to their services. With all things considered, we can conclude that streaming services and the binge-watching culture surrounding them have negative effects on people, specifically ones caused by sleep deprivation and addiction. Now, I will be passing this presentation on to Nadira.
By way of an introduction, my name is Nadira. Now I'm going to talk about the methodology. In this study, we have collected 57 participants. There were 34 females and 24 males, and the others I prefer not to say. The participants consist of young adults and middle-aged population groups. They are willing to participate voluntarily by themselves. The questions were distributed through the WhatsApp and Canvas. The participants also loves to help to distribute the questionnaires to others. Moving on to the next slides, the questionnaire approach employs a quantitative data. We created the survey by Google Forms and converted it into a link to distribute. There are 14 questions altogether, and the service title is Streaming Services. We use two types of questions, which are open-ended and also the closed-ended. We use Likert scales to make it simple and to measure and also analyze the data easily. And then for the data collections, we combine it together using a spreadsheets to categorize and perform a practical analysis on the data. That's bring me to the end of my presentation. Next, I will pass these presentations to Hamizan.
Thank you, Nadira, on your part. Hi, I am Hamizan, 21B0173, and I will be the next presenter to talk about the discussion. First, I'll begin by looking at the limitation of the findings. One of the limitations is that the number of respondents are not adequate enough to make a generalization. Therefore, it is difficult to make comparisons as it lacks representativeness. Secondly, there's a limitation in regards to the questionnaire. as it often lacks in-depth data to delineate accurately the meaning and motives that form the basis of a decision. However, an open-ended question is implemented to gain more sophisticated answers, but nevertheless, the answers given by the respondents were simplistic and superficial to further analyze. Moving on to the next slide. Streaming services has also adverse impacts such as sleep deprivation and addiction. This can be seen in figure 5 and 6, in which it is further exacerbated by algorithms. Algorithms are created by streaming services that caters to people's preferences. Therefore, Wu argued that the industry needs continually distracted people in order for advertisement to thrive. In relation to that, Olivia argued that this creates a dissociative state that causes people to be engrossed in the film or entertainment in which they consume. Thus, this leads to mindless consumption that affects one's productivity. Furthermore, in figure 3 and 4, suggests that sleep deprivation is common, in which 57% of participants sacrifice their time intended to sleep. Furthermore, Sussman and Moros argued that people who watch 6 hours daily of television live less compared to their counterparts. This finding is certainly dramatic, as life expectancy is often unpredictable. This is not to say that technology is the sole proprietor of this adversary, but rather it depends on the social context. Next, I will pass the presentation to Azri.
Thank you, Hamizan. Hello, I am Azri and I will be presenting the conclusions as well as the recommendations section. As you can see from the charts above, a vast majority of the samples are indeed users of streaming services, with a great number of them participating in unhealthy viewing practices. Due to binge watching, users are seen to be more prone to sleep deprivation as well as addiction, leading them to be likely to have negative effects. Generally, streaming services are seen as neutral despite them knowing the negative effects. One way to prevent binge watching is to use constant reminders between episodes or movies. However, this would impact one's viewing experience, and streaming services rely on viewership. Therefore, a better solution is to have more public awareness on the negative effects of streaming services. Another way is to practice self-discipline in order to prevent such habits from continuing. Thank you, and that is all from us. And that is all from us. Thank you, and have a nice day.